Welcome back to Beyond the Groom. This is a special edition with our very own Dr. Faver, and we are talking today about Groom Expo. And Groom Expo is right around the corner, September 7th through the 10th at the Hershey Lodge in scenic and historic Hershey, Pennsylvania, the sweetest place on earth. Dr. Faver and the ISB team is always a staple at Groom Expo. This year is no exception. Thursday, September 7th, from 12 to 4 p.m., Dr. Faver's Hair and Skin 101 certification course will take place. And then Friday, September 8th is jam-packed with Dr. Faver yet again. We have the Advanced Hair and Skin Certification course. We're going to start bright and early, 9 to 10 a.m. We're going to take a quick break, and then Dr. Faver's back with part 2 of the Advanced Hair and Skin Certification course from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Another quick break. We're going to refresh. We're going to come back strong and finish strong. And then the Advanced Hair and Skin class culminates with part 3 from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., all part of Groom Expo at Hershey, PA. Doc, let's talk a little bit about the classes.
You also have one 4 to 5. So there's actually 4 hours in there.
There it is. That's why you're the expert. That's why you're teaching the class, and I should be taking it. And of course, the ISB team will be holding down the lavish, new and improved booth on the trade show floor and running some great deals as well. So Dr. Faver, tell us a little bit. Let's start at the beginning. Thursday, September 7th, 12 to 4. We talked in our most recent episode about how you're able to captivate an audience for a lengthy period of time. This is Dr. Faver's Hair and Skin 101 certification course. I have personally witnessed it. I have personally had people come up to me afterwards and say, this course changed my life and opened my eyes. Tell me what people can expect.
Well, to me, it's a foundational class. I think every groomer, bather, receptionist, anybody that works in a salon should have this course because it gives you the why and what's going on. One thing I always say, it's like a mechanic working on a car that doesn't know how the engine runs. If you don't know the basics of the hair and skin, it's really hard to do your job well. And so we need to have that foundational stuff. And I find it, I love Hershey. It's one of my favorite shows. I love the enthusiasm there. I love all the people coming, but it's a great time to come in and learn from some of the different experts in the field there. So, the basic course that we're having on Thursday, everybody should take that. That should be a staple. And then we go on into the advanced course. Now, one thing I would caution people, and it's not to say you can't do this, but it's best to have the 101 course before you go in the advanced course, because I'm not going to go back over everything. And if you don't have the basics, then some of the things that I'm going to talk about at the higher level may not be as clear. And like I say, it's not going to negate you. If you want to still come, you're always welcome. But if you start having questions, not understanding stuff, grab me afterwards at the booth or whatever, and we'll talk about that a little bit further on that so that we can get you up to par on the overall. We also have a D-Shed seminar that we're doing, and then Suzanne's doing Everything Begins in the Bath. So we've got several on that. If you guys haven't seen my D-Shed seminar, I encourage you to do that. It may change your life, like Jordan said. Make your D-Sheds totally and completely different, because we're teaching a technique that you drop a lot of the hair in the tub versus having to blow it out all the room or comb it out, and saving a lot of time in your overall D-Sheds. But the education doesn't stop there either, because when I'm in the booth, there's education going on. And I tell people that's a time, don't miss that opportunity, because that's the best opportunity you have to touch and feel and smell. And let me show you some of the different techniques and understand the difference between an emollient and a humectant. Some of the things that I talk about, it's great to have, to talk theory, let's say, or talk the information. It's a totally different thing to experience it. Because I don't know about you, but when I was in science, I loved the labs because it made it real to me. Just listen to the lecture didn't always reach the same level as when I could actually go in and see the actual happenings and feel and smell and experience the overall. We also, and I'm just going to put a little plug in there, we have a new distributor in Canada, and they're going to spend some time at the booth. And so we will be posting that. I encourage any of our Canadian friends, and I know there's a lot of you out there, a lot of you have taken our courses and stuff. Please come by and meet Ivan and his wife. They're wonderful people. I think you just got a gem, whether you know it or not. But come introduce yourself and put a face to the new Yves Saint Bernard distributor, because I think you're going to be pleased with the results here.
Doc, if you could dive a little bit deeper onto the advanced hair and skin certification course, we want to reiterate to everybody, make sure it's of the utmost importance. It is about the same in length as the 101 certification course. However, it is broken up into chunks, like we said earlier. And again, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. You are going to get a break in between there. Then we go again from 2 to 3 p.m. And then, as you pointed out, again from 4 to 5 before you actually are able to earn the actual certificate. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. So some of the things we're going to talk about, I always say it's hard for groomers to pick products, and a lot of times we chase the wrong things. So we're going to talk about some of the things that are things you need to look at, maybe things that maybe you're wasting your time looking at. So we'll do that. We're going to talk about some techniques, some different ways that you can approach this, because a lot of people don't think that there's a difference in techniques. But I'm going to show you different ways that you may prep your product or put them on the dog, how you can save tons of money just by understanding the difference. Because a lot of times we think our technique is very efficient, but a lot of times it's very inefficient. And so we'll talk about that. And I've actually got some numbers to deal with that. I also take a little different approach on this one, because in the 101 course, I talk about some of the different diseases in that. This one, I'm going to take a different approach in the fact that you see this is how you deal with it. Because at the end of the day, you can't do your you can't diagnose anything. That's a veterinarian's job. But you can see certain conditions, and based on what you see, you can address those problems. And so we're going to go into a depth on that. And of course, the last hour is kind of the finale. I'm going to show you some before and afters that are, in my opinion, mind-blowing. And realizing none of the things that I show you in that class are things I've done personally. There's not one that I've done that. They're all done by groomers, or actually we've got a few of them that were done by the clients that we've taught. And why I say that, I want to empower groomers in the fact that you are capable of doing this. You do not need to be sending every one of these cases to the veterinarian. A lot of these can be prevented. So by learning this, you can do your clients and your pets a huge service by educating yourself and being able to deal with it at a higher level. I also tell people this isn't just about teaching you. It's teaching you so that you can turn around and teach the client.
Staying on Groom Expo, that was my first show that I ever went to that really opened my eyes to not only everything that you and Suzanne do and the ISB team, and I only got a small glimpse of it, but it opened my eyes to the magnitude of the world that is the grooming industry, for lack of better terms. And I just want to get your assessment. And I've been to several of the other trade shows that you frequent, but there's something special. There's a palpable energy at Groom Expo. So we strongly urge people to take your seminars and stay afterwards for the Q&A, and also, if nothing else, come by the booth, strike up a dialogue, get into a conversation, get some education, share some education if you have something to share. Can you speak to what makes Groom Expo so special? Is it just me because it's near where I live and it was my first, and it's a little nostalgic for me, but what is it about Groom Expo that makes people come from literally miles around from other countries to take part in the pageantry?
I think Groom Expo is probably the top show in the U.S. You're right in the energy that's there. People come very enthusiastic. Groomers are the different vendors are begging to get in. There's a waiting list, and has been for years, to try to get in there, because they know that there's a lot of energy and a lot of people to be able to approach. Hershey itself is a fun town. But I go back to what you said. The energy is just totally and completely different. In some ways, it's a madhouse. I'll tell you. There's times that it's hard to get down the aisles because there's so many people there that are wanting to learn and get more information. I tell people, if you're coming to the lectures, come early, sit up front, because those rooms are so big. Sometimes in the back, it's hard to see. So, take advantage of getting there early and getting a good seat. And there's been times that it was standing room only, or they had to refuse people because of the fire codes on that. They will be packed. Come, make sure you get the best experience you can. And if you get a chance, I always tell people, if you get a chance, make sure you take the trolley tour of Hershey. To me, that's a real important part of Hershey, so you can see what Hershey is. I almost make it a requirement for any of my staff to go there, because Hershey did things right. He took care of people. He donated his whole fortune to helping other people. The kids and the orphans and that. And to me, I think that's one of the things we're lacking in this world anymore. It's we're too me oriented instead of going out and helping others. And I guess why it touches me so much is it's so similar to my philosophy, and the fact that, as the Bible said, you should be servants to all. Go out and help other people. That's the most important thing. And that's what gives me joy, to be able to help others in this process.
Well, and you do it extremely well, as does Suzanne. And you can find out more information about Dr. Faver's seminars and so much more going on at Groom Expo, who is celebrating 35 years. Crazy to think about. Go to groomexpo.com. There's an educational schedule there with everything that we just reiterated. But if nothing else, stop by and see Dr. Faver at the booth. Sign up for a seminar. Literally, Dr. Faver, the last thing I want to ask you, people have told me, and I mentioned this before, and I know they say it to you, they say this class opened my eyes, it changed my life, it changed my career trajectory, and a myriad of other things that you couldn't ask somebody to say something nicer. But when you hear those things, knowing that you travel across the country to be here, knowing how much time and energy and effort you put into this, how does that make you feel when you hear feedback like that?
Well, it keeps me going every day. The fact that you know that you're able to help people, and that they appreciate what you do. Like I say, that's the driving force. That's why I'm passionate. And one thing I tell people all the time, you have no idea how much passion's really inside me. If you could see daily what I see, you would think I'm the pushiest salesman in the world, because I've literally, in my opinion, seen miracles happen. And when you see that on a regular basis, it sparks a lot of passion in you, that you just want to get out there more. You want more people to be able to see that. So all that's great. And I love working with people that have those kind of feelings, that want to do better. And that's really where I want to spend my time in the rest of my life.
Fantastic. Well, it is Groom Expo, taking place Thursday, September 7th, all the way through September the 10th. And Dr. Faver is going to be a massive part of it, as he always is, as is Suzanne, who we'll hear from soon. And of course, the ISB team and the new Canadian distributors. Dr. Faver, very excited about it. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Looking forward to seeing everybody there also.